All right. So if my favorite children's book was this Greek mythology book, and if I limit my Pixabay searches to illustrations that are black and white, not just black or white, right, but black and white, and I apply it, I see lots and lots of examples, some of which are more open than others. So think coloring book. Like this image I think is quite nice. So I'm going to right-click it, and I'm going to say Open Link in New Tab. And the reason I do that is so I don't lose this search. If I just click it, left-click it, then I lose all of my search options unless I go back. But if I right-click it and open it in the next tab, it's there for me. Now, what's great about Pixabay is it's curated and it's quality assured. So now when I go to download, you'll see that the pixel dimensions are over 1,000 pixels. The other requirement you have for this is it needs to be print quality at least 8 by 10 pixels at least 300 pixels per inch, which means your source material should be at minimum 1,000 pixels in one dimension. So I'm going to pick this one and see if it lets me download it. And it does, right? This is also actually a vector asset. I don't need to donate to the creator, right? I don't even need to log in. But unless you log in, you'll only be able to download the second to best quality version, right? But that will still be large enough for our needs. If you log in, and I just use my Gmail to log in, then you are actually able to download the very highest quality. But I don't want you to download vectors yet because we're not playing with vectors yet. So let's look at another one. I'm going to avoid ones like this because even though they're line art, they have so much cross-hatching and shading to them that it's going to be a lot to erase when I'm compositing it with something else. But I like this Pegasus, okay. So I open them in new tabs and I just go to them and I'm going to go to the second to largest and download if I don't want to log in. As long as it's above 1,000 pixels. All right. Now, what if I'm not finding it? So what if it's copyrightable material? So Percy Jackson is created by an author here in San Antonio, Rick O'Riordan, and his version of mythology is still copyrighted, right? He's still alive, still writing books. So if I look for Percy Jackson coloring book as just a Google search, such things exist, right? This is just a regular Google search. What I want to do is limit this to images, and then I want to, just like in Pixabay, so I don't waste time going through millions of images, many of which are like tiny thumbnails that aren't at least 1,000 pixels. I want to use tools. This is very important. So on a Google image search, click on tools, change your size to large. So you're only seeing images that are larger than 1,000 pixels. You can limit the color, just like in Pixabay, to black and white. And you can limit the type, just in case you're getting any photographs that are black and white, to line drawing. And here we have a lot to choose from, right? Way more than Pixabay because all of these are copyrighted. Now, some of them might be really cool, like this one, but they're not my favorite for this project. Because this one, you see how it gets cropped off at the edge and it kind of fills the whole rectangle? That makes it harder to use when I'm layering it with others because it's not kind of self-contained. And that's up to you, but my taste would be maybe something more like, oh, these are all a little hokey, but maybe more something like this. We have a self-contained element that works. Now in Google, you click on it, remember that's the thumbnail, you don't want to save that. This is the large file. But the problem with Google is it's all run by automation, machine learning, right? It's not curated by humans like Pixabay is. So you can't trust this. Even if this says this is 1,000 by 1,000 pixels, what I want you to do is to right-click the big image and then say, Open Image in New Tab. So you can see the image on its own and zoom in on it. And if you can zoom in on it and it looks pretty clean, doesn't look all pixelated, or it didn't take you to another site, then you can use this. So when I say use them, what do I mean? Well, Pixabay, we download it, and then they'll go to your downloads folder. So you see all those ones I downloaded. From Google Images, it's a little different. You right-click on it once you're seeing it at full pixels, and then you say Save Image As. And then I would save them just to the desktop, so you can see them clearly. And even though it looks like I'm in full screen, I'm not, because I can click on the desktop and see what's on there, and I can see that image right there. Then I can bring the ones out of my downloads folder, which is the one next to the trash. When you click on that, you'll get this little X-ray view. It kind of shows you your junk drawer. That's what our downloads folder is. To open the junk drawer, you need to scroll down and click on Open in Finder. And then you can actually see it. Okay. And then I can take those ones I'm interested in, and I can drag them to the desktop. I can do it this way, or I can do it by clicking on the desktop, and dragging it to there. So far, I know I need at least 5. I'm going to get more like 7 so that I can include 5 for sure. But I'm finding reference that I like. All right. So Google image search is just a little bit different. Make sure you're searching under the parameters so that they're large enough. Pixabays will always be large enough, but make sure that you're looking for black and white line art. So I just need a couple more to play with. And there's 7 pages worth. And they don't always need to be the exact same kind of line quality. But it should be governed by your visual taste. And you can spend a lot of time trying to find the right reference. So you don't need to be too precious about it. But if you're not finding what you want, you just want to open up your parameters a little bit. Make sure what you download is at least 1,000 pixels. Once you download them, you can close the tabs. I like using Chrome because you can always check your downloads right here. See all the ones you've done. And let's find some more from Google. We're going to have a lot of tabs open sometimes in this class, so you've got to keep them organized for yourself. And I'll just look up Greek mythology this time. I won't limit it to Percy Jackson. And I want to say tools, and I'm in Google Images, and I say large, and I say black and white, and I say illustrations or line drawings. And I want things that are self-contained. And then I right-click. Sometimes things like that happen, which are annoying. So I right-click and I say Open Image in New Tab. Try to avoid going to the actual websites, because you can really get lost in those. So that means that it has a missing file directory, right? So if it can't show it to you when you say View Image in New Tab, and it's not bigger than your browser screen, when you zoom in, right? Because it has the little, when I look at it like this, it's fitting on the browser, but it has the magnifying glass because the image is actually bigger than that. So then I click on the magnifying glass and I see its true pixel dimensions. It needs to look clean like that to be a useful image asset. If it doesn't fill the screen like that, or if it looks really broken up, or if it's too small, you just need to discard that image. That's not the one you're going to use. So only save ones that you can use. There's a lot of mislabeled image directories in Google. And that might be because a website deleted a file, but there's still a directory to it. I'll get one more. Open image in new tab, and then let's see if it's any good. Yeah, so just like you experienced, Tracy, even though it said it was 1,000, this isn't big enough. So that's what I mean by Google can lie to you. Yeah, it says it's by 1,100, but it's not quite. All right, what's one more? How about this one? Open image in new tab from the big image, not from the thumbnail. And you see how that's bigger than the screen. So that I can use. And then I can say save image as, save it to the desktop. And now I can just click on the desktop or hit function F11 and I see them all. All right. So now I have enough. More than 5 for sure. Doesn't mean I have to use them all, but now I get to be a little choosier. I'm going to push these ones to the desktop. These are the ones from Pixabay. If you accidentally download one twice, it will tell you. And you can choose what to do with that. Okay, now just go to your desktop. And we're going to put all those somewhere. So we have to create a folder. We have to organize for ourselves. And that's what chapter 1 of your optional reading is. It's about file organization and naming. Because we're in a shared lab, just like when I've worked for art studios, there are certain naming conventions I want you to follow. So if we ever lose files, they can be retrieved. So my image is here that I created for exercise 0, right? If you need to get your image onto your computer, you can get it right from Canvas. So you're going to, this is why it's important to do these assignments, right? So you can use them to learn the skills. So under orientation or first day stuff, when we did our raster portrait, if you don't have it on your computer, Canvas is a nice backup. I can grab it from there and save it to the computer. Just drag and drop. It's not a high quality file. It's just an online file type, right? Now, I did that to show you something. If I move a file that's the exact same as a file that's already there, sometimes it'll ask me if I want to replace it. But if I move it from a new destination, like taking it from online and moving it, it will actually just copy it and then put a 1 after it as the name. This is good to know because you don't want to have multiple files and not know which one is the most recent. But I'm going to use these to help you understand our naming conventions. So how can we organize? Because I already have some stuff from exercise 0, from exercise 1. I need to create a master folder for the class. So on a Mac, you click on the desktop with your right-click button, and you say New Folder. This is going to be our master folder for the class. And like I have up on the board, whenever we create a new file, we want to start it with our name, and then a dash, and then a description. So same thing here. I'm going to start this with my name, Karl, all capitals, then a dash, and then a description. This is my afternoon SP25 digital art folder. So what is SP25? SP25 means spring 2025.